My topic is going to be about sex.
Okay.
Mm. So we've had a few questions from some people about, regarding sex and when you should have sex, when is it appropriate to have sex with your partner, blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm going to say something and then I'm going to let Misha respond.
Mm, We are back.
What's up, friends?
Hola todo.
Got some juicy stuff to talk about today. So it's my turn to pick the topic.
Okay, let's.
And my topic is going to be about sex.
Okay.
Mm. So we've had a few questions from some people about, regarding sex and when you should have sex, when is it appropriate to have sex with your partner, blah, 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 all this stuff. I'm going to say something and then I'm going to let Misha respond. Sex sometimes ruins relationships.
This is where I respond.
Yeah,
Okay. I agree. I mean, there's this saying that says sex is the closest way to someone's heart.
that's concerning.
It's very
That's concerning.
closest, but also, did I say closest or fastest?
You said closest.
Fastest. I'm gonna
Even,
re-say that
even more
statement.
concerning.
There's this saying that says sex is the fastest way to someone's heart. And
Concerning.
concerning. And it's true because at that point, you are sharing yourself.
Please repeat that.
Repeat what?
The sharing yourself.
You're sharing yourself, you're sharing your soul, you're sharing your fluids.
People honestly, literally fluids. Let's not even get to that. But people really don't realize, like, okay, we're not talking about casual sex, right? That's a different conversation. We're talking about relationship sex. You're with the person, this is who you're with, you're sexually active with them. People don't realize that sex is a soul tie. Like it is a literal soul tie. And my thing is, what's very concerning about our generation is that it's starting to be all we have to offer.
Mm,
So a lot of relationships can be done over and dead, but you're still having sex with that person because that's all y'all had. That's kind of concerning
very good.
because everybody has their personal way they go about sex. Some people have sex with people and it's sex, it's just strictly pleasure. Nothing wrong with that. You deserve to have what you want to have. Some people choose to have sex with people that they're with. They only want to share that type of intimacy with people that they're with. That's your choice. You do what you want to. At the end of the day, it's very concerning that you could be with someone, and let's say that you're with someone and you feel stronger about them than they feel about you, right? So to you, sex is like an extra for the person that feels very strongly about you. Like, I love you. Sex is great. Like, yes, obviously, but I love you, so I really can care less. Like,
Right.
we do it, we do it. But then what if that person don't feel the same way about you and sex is the only thing that's keeping him around or her around? That's kind of like disturbing to me.
That needs a conversation. If
It
that's
doesn't
the case, it
conversation.
needs a conversation. Again, we need to figure out who's more into this than who, because at that point, again, we're introducing something that's toxic and it's going to end up hurting the person that's in it more than the person that's not so in it. Because again, sex changes things. All right,
It
we
does.
it it changes things.
Look. But it's like, okay, how it's so hard for people in this generation because sex is this is a hypersexual generation, man. If you're not doing it, somebody else will. So
Mhm.
how in the hell can you say, well, hey, such and such, I love you. I want to wait. I want us to be stronger. I hope you accept that. You
Right.
know, where the fuck do you find that at? Because in the back of my head, if I say that, I know it's like 10, 15 girls in the back, like, okay, well, I'm ready to do it now. I want it
Mhm.
now. But what if I
Because
want to get to know you first?
It's so easy. It's so easy for people to get sex nowadays. It's like
So easy.
right at the back door. So then the value of what sex really is in a relationship, it goes down. It's literally like it's just another thing, when in reality it's like a true, genuine, romantic moment for
Yes.
those two people. But now it's literally worth nothing. If you find someone that you're in love with, then that feeling comes back, because that moment for you is not just sex, it's more.
Yeah.
But then again, we have it so much that it becomes this thing that it's like, oh, it's just another.
Or people are just having it so much with so many different people, they don't even have a feeling towards it anymore. Like, it's literally just for me to have pleasure at that point. And
Concern.
people, people like to say, like, it's my body, I can do what I want with it, which is 100% true. In any aspect of life, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. When it comes to sex, every part of you that you give away, it goes away as well. Because sex is a soul tie. It doesn't matter if it was a quickie, it doesn't matter if it was a one night stand. That soul, that spirit that you shared with at that time, a little bit of that person is a part of you. A little bit of that toxicity is a part of you. So even, let's say, even in a toxic relationship, right? Let's say you've been in a toxic relationship and y'all had sex all the time. The way you look at sex after that relationship is going to change.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way you view a person having sex with you may change. Because if I'm in love with you and I'm having sex with you, you're going to know it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure I hit every spot that I know you like because I love you. But if you're having sex with a person that doesn't love you and it's just sex, it's just sex. Everybody's just doing it just to get off. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
How do you form the ideology of what it feels like to be loved and to have a sex with somebody, with a person that you love, if you've never felt it? Like, when somebody is loving you,
yes,
having sex versus somebody just fucking you.
Difference. Yes.
It's a big difference. It's a big difference. It's a real big difference.
I want to bring this up because I think it's important for this conversation, and I think it's important for people to start normalizing this. We need to start talking to our partners about what we like in the bedroom. And this is just, we're not just talking about a pickup, sex, whatever. We're talking about someone that you truly are in love with.
What is that?
It's a cat.
Oh my God.
Oh. Go.
Why is it hissing?
Kitty doesn't like me. But anyway, so we need to normalize conversations about what we like in the bedroom. A lot of time we wonder why maybe we don't feel pleased in the bedroom, and a lot of times our partners are willing to do those things for us, whatever that might be. You might be freaky, you might not be, I don't know. But there are some things that our partners are willing to do. They just don't know where you are with them doing that. And sometimes we wait until we get into the bedroom and we're not getting that. When sometimes stuff like that could be talked about. Or actually, this just came to mind. Do you think it loses its spontaneity or its spunk or its pleasureness when we talk about things like that? Do you think it loses the surprise factor?
I think the spontaneous comes with the person. Like, I could tell you I like to be done this way, but we could always do it in the bedroom. I mean, you know what I like to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's spontaneous. You get what I'm saying? Like, right. I feel I'm a person, and it ain't always good to not be this type of way, but I'm very selfless. So I'm never gonna tell my partner, like, unless it's absolutely terrible. I mean, like, unbearable. I'm never gonna say, hey, I don't like when you do this to me. Or I don't like the way you did that way. I want it this way. Like, I'm very selfless when it comes to that type of stuff. So, and like I said, unless it's absolutely terrible, like, I can't do it. But I go off observation. So I'd rather not ask. I'd rather do and see how you react and then go for it. But people be lying too. They be like, yeah, you're doing it good, and then be like lying. So you never know.
There could be instances, I like that you bring that up, because for me, I would say, yes, let's talk about this. For me, I like to talk about every and anything, uncomfortable or not, just with me on a whole. And that could scare people off big time. Because some people just like to go with the flow, let's see what happens, let's see how this is. And then, so I'm happy that you brought that up, because it's important to see that there are different views and perspectives to all of this. At the end of it, whatever works for you works for you. Know that sex is something that could ruin a relationship. It could also make a relationship better. We should understand that. When we give ourselves during sex, we are giving ourselves, and we're losing a part of us, and we should be very careful of who we share that with. Because if that person has toxic energy and you're sharing yourself with that person, and they're sharing their self with you, know that you've picked up some toxic energy.
Wow. I was looking at a TikTok and the other day, and it was a TikTok that this preacher made, and I'm not making this preachy at all or about religion at all. The overall concept that he brought to the table about sex made sense, religion or not. And he was saying that when and I'm going to make this into a literal term to take religion out of it. When two people were brought together in society, what brought them together, what sealed them, was sex. That's how we reproduce. That's how we recreated, period. That's what it was. It wasn't no, wedding. It was no, hey, would you be my boyfriend? It was no ring. It was sex. Mm-hmm. So imagine you are literally sharing that connection with multiple people. How can you receive real true love? How can you understand the concept when you're giving yourself to so many people? Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, and that is not even, when I say this, I really mean it. This is a no judgment zone. I'm all for whoever and whatever you want to do. But we have to realize that the toxic energy that we bring in, the energy that we bring in, it affects the way we go about life. So let's say, hell, you want to have sex with 5, 6, 7, 8 people. Make those 5, 6, 7, 8 people positive people that are spirited. Don't let it be with 5, 6 toxic people. I'm telling you, I'm not telling you to stop having sex. I'm telling you to choose wisely, because whatever you share comes in you. Literally, period.
Yes. not us putting out there, go have 20 partners, but
please.
20 people.
Just make sure they're good people. Make sure you're being safe. Make sure that they're protected. You're protected. We're not even gonna get into that topic today about.
It's about the soul. It's about the soul. That's what it comes down to. When we talk about sex, we're talking about the soul. All right. Protect that. It's yours. The more you share it, the more it goes.
The more it goes, literally a piece of you each time.
So, and then the more they share, it's replacing that part.
Now you got some of them in you, and that person got 30 souls in him. So now you got a piece. Now you got a piece of his 30 souls in you. No, this ideology, this is real ideology. It really sex, and I wish I kind of grew up in a different time where sex wasn't so glorified. Because damn, I can't even go out. And one of my favorite artists, Jasmine Sullivan, she has her album out called Hotels. It's literally called Hotels. And in between each song, she has a person expressing their sexuality in a poem form. They just talk. And the last girl on the list said that, the only thing I feel like I have to offer in society today is sex. That's the only thing I know that will keep a guy coming back. That's sad that now in 2021 we think of stuff like that. So what's the point of doing well in life when we have our new generation people come in, our 2000 babies, looking at it as, this is all I have to offer. This is all that's going to keep that person around, because we don't value it anymore.
We've replaced so many other aspects of a relationship with sex. So there's sex.
So instead of feeling good and instead of going out to the park to relieve some stress and running, we go have sex.
We go, yes.
Like instead of going, grabbing a movie, grabbing some ice cream and watching a movie because you're depressed, we go have sex. Like, what?
For that quick, because the thing is, we like quick satisfaction, quick.
Yeah.
That's as humans, we like that, and it's so sad. But you also have to consider that anything that's sexualized now is being shown more on TV, it's being shown more on Netflix, all that stuff. So it's a lot of things are being shown now on TV, so it's being normalized to do more of the sexual things that we normally wouldn't see. You also have to consider, and I don't know if this is true, and I'm making this statement, and I'm going to preface it that I'm making this statement, I don't know if it's true because I wasn't a part of that time. Now a lot more things are coming out. It doesn't mean that it wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So maybe this whole idea of what sex is was already a thing. Is just that our generation has put it out more. So maybe it just wasn't shown before because we were we're in like this Bible time, this whole judgment, condemning, all this type of stuff. So people didn't show it as often because they don't want to be judged. Or people weren't as upfront, or was it just doing it like that because they don't want to be judged? They were probably still doing it behind doors.
There were no cameras. There was no Instagram.
No cameras, no nothing.
No nothing. It was probably worse, to be honest.
Right. And I don't know if that's true. I'm just making a statement. It's just something to think about.
At the end of the day, huh?
I'm happy you brought this to the table, to the Zoom.
I'm gonna answer my own question, and then I'm gonna ask you the same question I'm about to answer. And basically is, if there's one thing I can tell, and I'm gonna speak from a girl aspect, is the one thing I can tell a young girl growing up in this generation about how she should go about dealing with sex. And if you can say the male part, say the girl part, whatnot. The one thing I would say is that while it may seem hard to have a certain standard level when it comes to sex, while it may seem hard to, maybe be a little, I guess, conservative when it comes to sex, or the opposite. Maybe you feel like, you want to explore or whatnot. My only advice to you is that don't ever let social media or a person that's not whole themselves dictate what you do with your body and how you exploit it, if that makes sense. A lot of times, especially younger girls, are doing things because they feel like they're going to get a certain reaction out of the person if they do it. So now you are 16, 17 years old, you've entered into this world where you are now fully blown into your sexuality and you don't even understand it yet. Understand your sexuality before you start having sexual encounters with people. Understand what you don't like and what you do like before you start searching for partners, because you're going to go out to that world and you're going to meet some people that are way more advanced than you when it comes to this stuff and knows what sex does to the mind, and you're going to get manipulated really quick. Understand sexuality, understand yourself first, and then explore sex. I ain't telling you not to have sex. I'm not telling you to wait till marriage. I'm telling you to understand your sexuality first and then explore, because there's some people out there that look at sex as just a thing to do. And that's totally fine, but that may not be what you want. And don't get your feelings hurt because you're experiencing it with someone that doesn't care about it. Period. So now, Michelle, what can you tell somebody, a younger version of you going into this generation about sex?
I would say do what works for you. 100%. Peer pressure and all that stuff is real. Pressure in general from society, social media, just friends, anyone, it's real. Just normalize saying no and being okay with saying yes when you want to say yes. That's it. Do what works for you. If you feel like it's time, then sure. But I want to piggyback off what E said. Explore or find out what your sexuality is. Find out what that means to you first before you engage in that physical stuff. All right, because it can be damaging.
Yes.
It can be very damaging. So at the end of the day, if it works for you, it works for you. If you're someone out there that's going above and beyond and having multiple partners, that works for you, go ahead. If you're not someone that don't want to, if you don't want to do that, then that works for you as well. So it's your choice. Always remember that it's your choice. Don't get carried away by a moment, because there are people out there that understand moments and can manipulate moments. They know how to create moments.
Literally.
But again,
That's big.
what works for you works for you.
Get this strong first, because when this is strong, I promise you, you'll be able to maneuver a lot better. And if I have to say one more thing, I'm gonna end this. When you're in a relationship with someone, if let's say the relationship ended bad and y'all, you're moving on and whatnot, if you can separate the two, the relationship and sex, you've won. If you can say, well, if we can't be together, we can't be together either. If you can come to that point in life where if they can't be with you, you also can't have a piece of me, you have won. I'm telling you, there's a lot of hurting people out there now that can't let go of people, that because that soul tie is so deep and toxic, they're not even in a relationship anymore, but they can't let this physical shit go. When you learn how to separate the two and find more value in a person that values you versus what you have, you've won. Period.
You have won it all for me. Death could not hold you down. Wait, switch it out. Sex could not hold you down.
Love it. No, just kidding.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in. I hope that answered the questions that came in. Because we talked about a lot, because sex is a big topic. We might have to do one more on sex from a different angle.
We're gonna bridge it. We're gonna do casual sex, and then we're gonna bridge from relationship sex to infidelity to casual sex.
I like the transition.
Tie it all in together.
It's the transition for me. Thank you for tuning in. We will see y'all next time.
Peace.